But yeah, welcome back to the Chupacabra's Lair. We're gonna do some Path of Exile, The Awakening today. It's a big new fancy patch for Path of Exile. And if you're not familiar with this game, it's the free-to-play, alternate version of, like, Diablo 2. And we'll explain the differences. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of crazy new content, including a whole new chapter of story. And we're gonna do the thing with the stuff. We're gonna play in this new Tempest League that involves random spell effects, where stuff goes all crazy and zany in the background. And I'm gonna play a Scion. And I'm gonna call her Blorfindorf. Fuck it. There we go. Blorfindorf, come. We have adventures to go on. Alright, so we arrive on the shores of Rayclast. We are a random exile to this land. We were banished from the previously, like, you know, civilized world for using magic and doing other heretical things that I'll explain later, and when you do bad stuff, they send you to a shithole of an island full of zombocoms.
It's actually patricide. Or matricide, rather. She killed her husband.
Oh, okay, so I killed my hubby. He doesn't know how to work the tongue right. That was the condition of him remaining alive. So here we are. I'm a magical lady. I can throw spectral versions of my sword in a juggling act of doom. It's good stuff. So yeah, that guy we just talked to, he was just like, hey, we're here. Give me a second to gather my breath, and oh shit, zombies. So we gotta find out, like, where we can get some safety. So for this playthrough, I'm joined by Nephinox and Blarg. Nephinox you're probably familiar with if you've been on the channel for a while from some of the early Robocraft series. His spirit animal is a baked potato, and Blarg is Blarg. That's all you need to know. He's running his game off of a Wi-Fi hotspot that he has hung in his window. Hopefully he taped it up there so that if somebody texts him, it doesn't fall out again.
It's actually in my car. I'm in the garage right now.
Oh, the hotspot's in your cars?
Yeah, like the key is in the ignition and the car is turned on to charge the phone.
Wow. How much gas do you have?
Power. Just the power. It's draining from the battery.
Oh. That's hilarious. It's very hobo of you, Blarg.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You're right. You're right. You gotta do the stuff with the things. So, Path of Exile for the uninitiated, for those who like, hey, looks a lot like Diablo, that gem I got earlier and quickly slotted while I was saying words, that is what gives us our unique abilities and powers and stuff. And pretty much every character has this access to the exact same abilities and the same gigantic forest full of talents. It's just a matter of where the character starts out in the talent tree, in sort of like a three-dimensional talent tree that makes all the difference. Or I guess it's two-dimensional, but it doesn't go top-down. It goes in all directions at all times. It's kind of like any porno that's been filmed in a clown car, I guess, is a good way to point it out and explain it. Alright, so yeah, here we go. Here's the talents. The fun thing that I'm playing the Scion for, she's a character you normally have to unlock by playing through the game at least once. She starts in the center of this Gigundo talent forest. Each one of the characters starts in one of these little discs with a face. So, I'm gonna want to make this character all about, magic. Mostly. Probably magic and some survivability. Good news is she kind of specializes in all the things, so no worries there. I don't know if I like or not her default starting ability of Spectral Throw, but it's not the worst one out there. I think the worst one is, like, there's a Templar guy. It's kind of like a paladin. Starts out with a glacial hammer, but he also wears a kilt, so it's easy for people to touch his man parts when he doesn't want them to.
Glacial Hammer has a really weird passive where if they're below a third health and they're frozen, it shatters them. So it's good for bosses, but
Oh, that's actually kind of handy. I mean, I didn't know that. The most stuff that I know about this game is like Path of Exile is a very kind of like subtle, not fully explained story that kind of goes on in the background. Very akin to like a Souls game. And I dig that kind of storytelling technique. So we've kind of, me and Blarg and Neff, we've all kind of like delved into that a little bit to some extent out of curiosity. So we'll be explaining that as we go. Alright, so I've got a level on my spectral throw. Oh, here we go. Here's who I'm looking for, Hillock. So one of the people on our boat, I guess, or one of the boats that came through here was this guy. And before the people in that town will let us in, they're like, hey, could you kill Murdertron 9000 sitting outside? That would be great. Kind of tricky in that he kind of beats the shit out of us, but I got lots of health potions, so whatever. At least until he decides, hey, I've got a sword, I could probably use that to beat your ass. So actually, let's throw some spectral blades while I've got mana for it. He's not the worst boss that you had to start a game playing, but I've had better. You know, like better mac and cheese. And you gotta give them credit, like, they do a pretty decent job, like, modeling these characters. You can actually zoom in. It's certainly not like HD realistic textures by any means, but it's not terrible. So, hey. Oh, look, I got a wand already. Sweet.
Mortal Wrath, 6 counts of common homicide, 1 of infanticide, 2 of homicide with postmortem desecration, unlawful avarice, 12 counts of extortion to the threat of mortal.
Wait, whose stuff is that? Well, Blarg's gonna cut in and out occasionally, because his connection's kinda poopy. So, Neff, where are you at? You haven't said words yet.
I am just chilling in town.
Alright, well, I'm here now.
Alrighty.
I'm a little framey in town, despite having turned stuff off, but whatever, it's not a big deal. I'm going to equip my fancy new wand. And actually, that's what I'm gonna use for my, well, I can't really use the wand till I get better magic, so I'm gonna put a pin in that, and we're just gonna go from there.
So I just read Hillock's letter of exile.
Oh, did he just kind of piss off everybody?
He has 4 counts of rape, 2 of attempted rape, 1 of rape that involves mortality, 6 counts of armed larceny. It goes on.
Okay. So, we're not going to really listen too much to a lot of these voice acting characters early on, because they talk a lot, and, yeah, they talk a lot. All you need to know is Nessa, she's like a crazy medicinal woman who's like taking care of the sick. Bestel's an old pirate captain who's kind of like a minstrel and a bard right now. And then this guy over here, Tarkleg, he's the guy who's in charge and keeps everyone not dead.
Welcome to
So I gotta talk to Bestel. Bestel's like, hey, go get me this medicine chest. And this guy's just like, hey, thanks for killing Murdertron 9000. That's real nice of you. So I've actually got my first piece of real magic, and we're good to go to the next little area. I think I'm actually going to try something different with this series and try to cut these down to like 15-ish minutes. But let's start off by selling the shit we don't need. There we go. Are you bad boys ready to touch the butts?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna equip this sword as my alternate. So we've got a quest to go to, a cannibal crazy land and find... Oh, hey, the magic effects are here. And they're bad magic effects. Okay. So somewhere in this mass of zombocoms is actually, is an island. And like I think you'd probably imagine in a land full of zombies is, there's there's a lot of crazy people, and those crazy people, they're cannibals. So, I mean, it makes sense. Their main food source isn't these weird, creepy crabs. I mean, they, like, sting you and shit. But, there certainly are a lot of zombies to eat. So there's...
Not just any cannibals. They're, like, possessed cannibals that shoot out awful souls when they die.
Yeah. They're kind of like the Raven people from Diablo 2. Also, this thing I'll listen to in a sec. Yeah, there's a bit of story in there that we will get to when we talk to that weathered carving majigger. So, the one thing I'd point out is these magic nodes here, those are not quite typical of what you see in a random zone. Those are part of the Tempest League. This is sort of like hardcore. You can only die once and you get kicked out of this difficulty mode. But, the gimmick is, this. Previously, it would be like random monsters would spawn that are really big and murdery. And then other times it was like, magical chests that, would spawn a bunch of packs that would try to kill you.
Kham's canoe struck this sand with the force of destiny. At his back, the greatest war host in Kardui history tamed the wild sea, their canoes coupling with the land one by one. Lion-eyed gemlings met us with shining metal and bold words. Hyri's arrows withered their pride, Kham's axes silenced their despair. Marseilles Lion-Eye fought bravely to the last. Kham honored him with a place on his belt. Kham has shown Rayclast our Kardui strength. Kham will teach Rayclast the Kardui way.
Okay.
Kham's canoe struck this
So,
sand with the force.
basically, these are like ancient carvings from a very, very, very long time ago. And they tell the story of when a guy named Kham came to the land and helped to destroy some of the people who were previously utilizing and doing stuff with these ancient gems that we've got, which give us some magical powers. You can call them virtue gems. I like to call them blood gems because that's kind of what they are. And so, yeah, these cannibal people are Karui. And they've gone like crazy, and some stuff has happened to them. And we will find out in a little while what exactly that was. Oh, hey. The spider crabs are here. My favorite.
I like the spider crabs. What are you talking about?
Oh, no, they're the best. Oh, hey, Molten Strike.
Pretty sure they're infected.
Yeah.
The thing that I was telling you earlier about the additions to the different game modes, if they do well, they end up keeping them around typically.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, that does sound about right, because there are a bunch of random named characters that you can run into pretty often. And then, like, when we did like a test
Corrupted
recording
zones.
before, where, something happened to the start of the recording. I'm actually watching it this time to make sure that didn't happen again. And, yeah, we ran into those special chests that, like, spawn stuff already. Oh, shit. Ow. Oh, that almost killed me, like, right off the bat. Yeah, we found those special, like, spawning things that spawn monsters. We saw 2 Vol corrupted zones, but they were both kind of boring. So yeah, like, they have a lot of cool gimmicks. And it adds a lot of flair, because normally this game is actually pretty boring, in my opinion. If you really play a lot of games just like this. So we need to find an inlet, and then go and murder some cannabinoids.
I'd have to assume that any kind of island would be by the beach.
Yeah, that's usually where it spawns. And just like Diablo games, Path of Exile is mostly randomly generated. It's just like certain zones have specific terrain that spawns somewhere in it where, like, I don't know, boss fights happen, stuff like that. But aside from that, it's all mostly completely different. So we will pick up on this next time. Thanks for joining us, everybody, for some Path of Exile, The Awakening. as we kind of settle in tonight and have an adventure, we will talk about more lore and stuff. So until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe, and toodaloo!